Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are painting a hot air balloon sunrise. So we have some distant mountains and we have some beautiful grass in the foreground and a hot air balloon going all over this beautiful landscape. I'm starting just by painting the sky and the mountain, the distant mountain, just with water. So we're going to work wet on wet. Painted just with water, and then we are going to first outline our sun with the lemon yellow. I'm going to leave a little white dot in the middle and just dab this lemon yellow around the dot. Add some of that yellow ochre and then blend these two together and blend them out into the sky. Add some more lemon yellow if you need to. I'm just dabbing this area that's over the mountain because I want it to be a little bit lighter, and also dabbing the sky just a bit lighter. Add some more yellow where you need to. After dabbing, see if you need to add some more lemon yellow maybe, and just blend it upwards a little bit into your sky. Okay, now we're going in with the ultramarine blue for the sky. And I want to keep my ultramarine blue and my lemon yellow separate. You don't want them to touch because then you're going to have a green sky. So I started just at the top adding that ultramarine blue. I'm adding in some lines because I do want to have some soft clouds in the sky. And as I go closer to my lemon yellow, I basically just use water because I don't want these two colors to get together and mix. Now I'm adding just a bit of water, dropping in water where I want my clouds to be. I find that dropping in water for clouds really makes a nice cloud, a soft cloud. It gives it a nice edge, and then once I've dropped that water and I let it sit for a little bit, then I just go in with a microfiber cloth or paper towel and dab the excess water off, and also just dabbing the edges a little bit because I don't want it to have completely that cauliflower effect that water drops give, but I do want it to have just some subtle, soft lines. I'm now adding a bit of Payne's Grey into my cloud. These are just for shadows, and you can use any dark blue, grey, even a black that has been diluted quite a bit for this step. It's just to add a bit of shadows in your cloud. I feel that Payne's Grey make a really nice shadow. And then we just dab it again because we want it to be soft. We don't want it to be overpowering and take away the attention from our hot air balloon. Now you can't see it it's off screen, but I've got another water container that's got clean water. So I always dip my brush in this one, which is dirty water, and then I have one where I can pick up clean water. Let's do the foreground. So I'm going in just with a flat wash of yellow ochre. And now I'm doing my mountain, the one in the foreground or the mountain closest to me. I'm painting with forest green, and I'm going to give it a bit of detail to make it look like trees. So I'm just doing these small little lines all across the edge of the mountain using that forest green. Bring that color down. Now my foreground is still a bit wet, but it is okay if these colors blend and bleed a little bit. I want to add a bit of variation in color, so I'm just adding some drops of that Payne's gray here and there into my mountain, just adding a bit of texture, add a bit of depths, shadows. Now I'm using my trusty old brush and I am going in with yellow ochre, creating just some grasses here in the front and going all the way back with it as well. So for the grass, I'm mainly using yellow ochre, and then I'm using a little bit of warm sepia. I'm also going to add a bit of that lemon yellow, and as I get closer to the front, I'll add some Payne's gray for shadows into my grass. Now, as I start with my hot air balloon, I'm only using the colors that I have here, these 9 colors. I'm not going to mix any of them to create different colors. I'll just use what I have on my palette. So I'm starting with the French vermilion here in the middle. You want the middle of the hot air balloon to be lighter to give that effect that it's obviously round and more of a three-dimensional effect. So I'm adding the color at the top and at the bottom, but then I just take water to bring that color and sort of connect it to each other. And at the end, once we've painted, we'll also try to lift up some of the color in the middle just to give us that 3D effect. Now I'm going to skip one section of the balloon and move on to adding lemon yellow. And I'll do this on both sides as well. Same, I'm putting color at the top, color at the bottom, and then using a bit of water just to bring these two together. Now I'm skipping one again and I'm going in with the phthalo green, staying to the same method, painting it at the top, at the bottom, and then connecting it with water only. Now I'm painting the sections that are left, just all of them with ultramarine blue. Same as before, painting at the top, at the bottom, and just connecting it with water. You can already see that the middle part of my balloon is a bit lighter. So we will still continue to lighten it after painting the whole balloon part. Okay, now I'm so sorry, but I forgot to record when I was painting the mountain here at the back. It's just a flat wash of Payne's Grey, and then I've dabbed it dry a little bit where my sun is so that it's lighter in that area. I'm so sorry, I did not notice that my camera has stopped recording. At this stage, I'm just adding some of my grasses, especially here where the mountain is. I want to blend it in a little bit because I don't want just a flat line over there. So I'm using my fine liner or rigger brush and just adding some shadows, adding some detail in my grass. Okay, let's paint the basket. I'm using warm sepia for the basket. Adding a little bit of the burnt sienna. Sort of doing a couple of lines like a checkerboard on there, not with too much detail, but just to give some variation in color and gives the idea of it being a proper basket. With my fine liner brush or with a pen, I add the strings of the hot air balloon using just Payne's Grey. Now adding some final touches with a pastel pencil. This is a white pastel pencil. So I'm just making the hot air balloon, just going over it with white, and then you can use your finger to sort of just blend that in. And then any other details you want to add with a hot air balloon, maybe outlining your basket so that it can be seen easier, maybe doing some sun rays, maybe adding some grass with the white pencil, some highlights in your grass. And that's basically it. So hope you enjoyed this one today. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Link in the description below for the book. And thanks for joining me. Happy painting.